In this video, I'm going to talk you through my two CVs. It's the same CV, but just different versions for different jobs. One landed me a job with PMT, Physics Maths Tutor, and then the other landed me my grad job after I think about 1 or 2 months of job hunting. And I'd been looking for months before that, and then I updated my CV and I got a job pretty quickly. So this is the Teddy Ria Tutor CV. Obviously, because the grad role and then the PMT role have two completely different criteria and specifications, I have different CVs for those. And this is just a placeholder. Obviously, it has my actual name, my actual email, and so on and so forth. But this is just for your example. So here, well, I've put it better on this one. You'd put your number in, you'd put your location specifically, and then generally where you're from, and then your email. And then if they click on that email, they should be able to email you as well. Let's jump back to the tutor one. So you're going to start off with the personal profile. So mine says, if I zoom in a bit, might be better. First class maths grad with 7 years. Honestly, I should have said mathematics maybe, but whatever. 7 years teaching experience, including direct Key Stage 3 maths tutoring. This was for a role that was a Key Stage 3 maths resource creator role. And so, of course, I'm gearing it towards that. Again, skilled at creating clear, engaging revision resources and so on. And then I've put my education, math with economics. Again, obviously, it's not at Teddy University, but it's a university in London, in the UK, and then I graduated with first class, and I also ranked first. I've written that in brackets, and again, the same thing. I've written my prizes and things that I got during my years there, and then you can see that it's like you say what it is, you say the location, and then you say the dates in that format. And then when you do your work experience, you've got the date, then you've got this as well. So starting September, I'm going to be working as a data solutions grad in Ted's Fine China, again in London, and so on and so forth. So I did include my upcoming job in the PMT application just because I felt like it was relevant and it shows my skills that I can actually get a job, a grad role, and I'm not just sitting on my bum doing nothing. Same, so Math Circles mentor at Charity Foundation, and then same thing. So everything else here is exact same. And I'm pretty sure I put this through AI, and then I just bolded some of the stuff. I'm going to show you how I wrote up this specific format, this CV in LaTex, because you can't, I couldn't really do it, maybe you can, but I couldn't really get this exact format in Word, and I wanted a one-page CV for my grad role. For this one, I made some exceptions because I don't think they care that much, and then I was struggling to do that in Word because the margins were so much wider, so the margins would come all the way here and here, so there wasn't much room in the centre. Either way, so here I've put business manager for an e-commerce store, maths society vice president, and student representative, and then I've got skills and technical projects. They were wanting me to work with Asana and Fleep, so I put willing to work with Asana and Fleep. I don't know how much difference that actually makes, but anyway, I got in. So I work for PMT at the moment for the summer on their Key Stage 3 resource creating project. So this is successful. Okay, this CV was a good one. This specific format as well I've seen on LinkedIn. If you scroll on LinkedIn on the short type things, I don't know what they call on LinkedIn, but I've seen somebody mention that this specific format is actually the best format for landing jobs. I'm not sure why, but it is. Maybe somebody can tell me why. So this is my tutor CV, but if you want to see my grad role CV, so this one I did my education. I didn't do a personal profile because I wanted everything in one page and I didn't have room, and quite frankly I don't think they cared too much what my personal profile was. That was the impression that I was under anyway. I might have been wrong, but I mean it worked out in the end. So again, you put your number, you put your details up at the top, and then you give your information about your degree, if you have any special prizes, awards, anything like that, society stuff maybe, you can pop that in there. And then the experience, I put private tutor and Math Society Vice President again, just because I don't have any other experience besides these two, and these are actually legit, like at a place. The other stuff is more my own personal projects, that sort of thing, which I didn't find too relevant for the grad roles itself because I was applying for more technical type roles rather than the general business or logistic roles. I wanted to look specifically into like maybe software engineering, data, what was it? I'm just thinking data solutions because that's my role, but data science, that sort of thing, data analytics, and this requires more technical background. So these were the 3 technical projects I included. I did this one, but these I did something along those lines, but not exactly what I wrote down, which maybe unethical to some, but I was like, I can explain most of the stuff anyway, so I don't really think it's ethical. And if you need to lie, but you can back up the lie, I think it's fine, because you want to get the job, like acceptance. You want to be accepted into the job, and then after that you can prove how good you are, because even the best people are not accepted because they have no experience, and that's really unfair, right? So I think it's okay, right? That's my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion, but you, of course, it's up to you whether you feel like that or not. Either way, I did tell some fibs here in these two specifically, but again, they were from like projects that I actually did do, and then I just kind of extended the truth. The best lies are the ones that are actually based in truth. You shouldn't spin tales out of nowhere, because you won't be able to explain yourself in the interview. Having said that though, when I was called into the assessment centre, I was very stressed out, because whilst I can explain, I was still struggling, because I was like, I didn't actually do these things, so what will I do if they say, you know, a very specific question, or ask me a very specific question about what I've written, and I was having a lot of imposter syndrome. But all turned out fine. They didn't even ask me a single question about my CV, and so this is just like the primary round check that they do, I guess, and then after that they have their own checks that does not involve your CV. Okay, that was a lot of rambling. Now I'm going to hop into the LaTex workspace that looks like this. Okay, and I'm just going to... I wonder if people would find it helpful if I link to this on my Etsy storefront, so people could buy it. It wouldn't be for much, it'd be for like £1. But I wonder, because I could share the PDF with you, but it's not going to be that useful because you can't edit it. And so the real juice is here in this specific bit here. But yeah, let me know if people are interested. And by people I mean you. If you are interested, then let me know, and I will try and see what I can do. And honestly, I don't even mind kind of copying and pasting this and just giving it to you for free, but I don't know how I would do that. I'd probably have to have a specific type of file. Okay, either way, this specifically is the CV, obviously with my real details, that landed me a job as a data solutions graduate. I'm working in pensions at a pretty reputable company, actually. It's one of the largest insurance brokers out there, and I would highly recommend that you use this. And if you just for reference, if we look at my Google Sheets, okay, so as you can see, this is the program that I accepted, and the date I applied was the 12th, and then I think I got the assessment centre in February, at the start of February, but I got my confirmation that I had made it at the end of January. So that's a solid 2 months after I applied. I applied to loads. Okay, right, that doesn't look like a lot, but I applied to 61 roles. Yeah, 61 roles, and then that was the only one that I actually heard back from. I got accepted, or like I passed a lot of the rounds for a lot of the jobs, and then I would wait to hear back for the next role, right? Like for example the AC, and then they would just say, oh, sorry, it's already been filled, like months later. And frankly, it's quite rude, but what can I do? I'm just a grad at the hands of the merciless job market. I don't know how it is in the other countries, but I imagine it's probably something similar, but this is the UK and it is pretty bad. Either way, I was happy to be accepted as a graduate on this programme, and it took me about 2 months after I submitted the CV. But they were pretty good, and their culture was very nice, I think. That's also why I actually really am happy with the role that I've secured. It's not just I'm doing it because I have to, and I don't really have a choice. I'm actually really happy with the company because their work culture is a lot more friendly, it's a lot more welcoming, which I found was very lacking in any of the other companies that I went into. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that And I've got loads of these applications, and you can see how many I was rejecting from and how many became unavailable. So I would apply for them and then they would become unavailable. It was crazy. Okay, that's all. If you enjoy this video, then you actually will enjoy how exactly I went about preparing and going through the assessment centres and so on and so forth for all the different programs I applied to. And I'll link that video for you right here.